Hi, Diana. Here we are with another letter from you. Okay, so this is the English and homestay family, right? Okay, so dear Ben and Maria, I'm writing you to introduce myself and to ask for information about your country. I hope your advice will help me to adapt more quickly and we will spend some great time together. Beautiful first paragraph. First of all, I would like to present myself. Introduce. In English, you say introduce, not present. In many languages, it's a verb which can be roughly translated as present, but not in English, no. Okay, so it has to be introduce, just like here. Oh, beg your pardon. Okay. Introduce. One second. My name is Diana, and I'm a last year student at foreign language faculty at Pescara University. I am very happy to take part in this student exchange program, as I'm a real lover of traveling and meeting new people. Okay, great, awesome. So the first thing I was wondering if you could give me. I get your point, but this structure is a bit awkward. You're trying to put together several expressions. So the first thing is, I was wondering if you could give me, right? So I would say, firstly, I was wondering if you could give me some piece of advice about getting a new mobile phone. I heard that in the UK it is mandatory to have a contract which would include both the phone and the data plan. Is it really so, or can I just take a new SIM card and continue to use my own phone? Okay. Second, I was curious about whether there are any hiking clubs in your town. I know that the outdoors in the UK is really breathtaking, and as I'm a big fan of trekking and hiking, I would like to get to know other persons with the same interest. Let's say interests. Okay. In conclusion, I would like to tell you the date and time of my arrival. Great, from the very first sentence in this paragraph. Awesome. I will be on the flight number this and that from Rome to London on the 20th of September. Scheduled arrival at. I would put it more of it like a sentence. Let's say full stop. The arrival will be scheduled at 12:30 p.m. Do you think you could come and pick me up at the airport? I would really appreciate if you could. Thank you for everything in advance, and I cannot wait to finally meet you both in person. Sincerely, Diana. Okay. So what do we have? You have a rather neutral to informal letter, and that is basically okay, but not too much, because if you address a family that you have never met before, you have never talked to before, I wonder if it's okay to call them by their first name, because by default, if you don't know the person, you would address them as, let's say, Mr. Brown, right? Dear Mr. and Mrs. Brown. And similarly, you would sign with your full name and say, yours sincerely. The thing is that this is an absolutely great letter. There is very little I had to correct, as you can see. The paragraphing is great. Perhaps you could ask some questions which are more about the essential things in the UK. The mobile phone question is okay, because that's a survival thing. Yet the second question about the hiking clubs is about interests and hobbies. So I'm not sure that this can be classified as the essential information about the UK, as far as I remember the topic. And you haven't included the topic, which you should have. But anyway, I remember that topic by heart. So this is an absolutely great letter in the style that it is. thing is that when you address a new person, a person that you have never met before, it is a bit too personal to address them by their first name right away, and this tone might be a bit too friendly. Just as a friendly piece of advice, okay? Just for you to know in the future, because you might get a great score in terms of task achievement. No, task achievement would still include style as well, right? You might lose points in task achievement because of the style, right? Because they might require a more formal style. So if you could write something like this, but in a more formal style, that would be absolutely great. Anyway, I like your paragraphing. Just pay attention to the minor corrections that I made, and as this is a big thing. I mean, this is a big change that you need to introduce in your writing, and I mean to make this absolutely perfect and then mine. I'm not going to rewrite this for you, but I really hope that you have questions about the formal style, whether how to write in it or anything like that. So I'm sure that you can, that you know how to write that way. It's just a matter of choice, right? So all the best and keep up the great language command, yes, and the great work. And just feel free to ask me any questions you want about the writing in the formal style.